Historical sites are a link between the past and present, where centuries-old stories and secrets are buried within their walls. These places carry the echoes of lives once lived, and yet they also hold mysteries that defy explanation. Some say they are simply the product of time and decay, while others believe there's something more, something supernatural. Over the years, a strange phenomenon has emerged at many of these ancient sites, a glitch in time and space. Could it be that some places are so steeped in history that they begin to shift, twist, and distort reality itself? Here are some of the scariest glitches from historical sites that will make you question everything you know about the past. The ghost of the Tower of London. The Tower of London stands as a solemn witness to centuries of British history, its imposing stone walls having witnessed countless tales of treachery, betrayal, and execution. Located on the banks of the River Thames, it's not just a symbol of royal power, but also one of the most haunted places in the world, steeped in the dark history of imprisonment, torture, and death. What once served as a royal palace, fortress, and even a zoo, is now home to more than just the crown jewels and the beefeaters. It is a place where history never truly lets go. For centuries, the tower has been a site of gruesome executions, including some of the most well-known figures in English history, Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, who was executed for charges of treason, Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen, and the princes in the tower, whose mysterious disappearance still baffles historians. These stories of betrayal, power struggles, and tragic endings have made the Tower of London infamous, but it is the strange occurrences within its walls that have made it legendary in the realm of the supernatural. While most people visit the tower to glimpse the crown jewels or to walk through the ancient halls, many have come away with stories of an entirely different nature, stories of time itself seeming to warp and glitch. Visitors and staff alike have reported strange, almost impossible occurrences that defy logical explanation. Imagine walking through the dimly lit corridors of the tower, your footsteps echoing off the cold stone walls, when suddenly you hear something that doesn't belong. It's a sound of boots marching slowly, deliberately, yet when you turn to look, there is no one there. The sound of marching soldiers, their footsteps heavy and synchronized, echoes in the distance, only to vanish the instant you try to locate the source. Some believe that this phenomenon is not a mere auditory illusion, but rather a time glitch, a moment where the past and present bleed into each other, allowing the sounds of soldiers from centuries ago to slip through the cracks of time. But it doesn't end with just sounds. There are other visitors who claim to have experienced something even more unsettling, an encounter with figures from the past who appear as though they are walking right through the walls of the tower. They are not solid, physical beings, but rather faint, ghostly shapes, figures of prisoners, their faces twisted in agony or fear, walking the halls as though they are still trapped in their final moments. These apparitions are often seen at dusk or in the still of the night when the tower feels eerily quiet. Some claim that the figures are dressed in tattered clothing from centuries past, their footsteps moving slowly, almost mechanically, as though they are reliving their final days over and over again. It is in these moments that visitors often report feeling a heavy, oppressive atmosphere, one that seems to thicken the air itself, making it feel as though time is stretching, warping, and distorting around them. There is also a strange sensation that some have described as a sudden drop in temperature, even on warm days, when they find themselves in certain areas of the tower. This drop in temperature is said to be accompanied by a sense of unease, as if something invisible is watching, or as if the walls themselves are alive, whispering secrets from the past. The Tower of London, in these moments, does not feel like a relic of history. It feels as though it is an active participant in the history it holds, as if the events of the past are still unfolding within its walls, echoing through time. Some of the most chilling accounts come from those who have ventured into the more obscure parts of the tower, where the historical records and stories have long since faded into legend. Here, in the depths of the tower's shadowy, forgotten corners, time seems to behave differently. In these places, visitors claim to experience vivid, almost surreal visions. The ghostly procession of figures marching down narrow corridors, the flickering of long extinguished torches, the faint murmur of voices that seem to speak in languages long forgotten. In these brief moments, the line between past and present blurs completely, leaving those who witness it feeling as though they are no longer in the Tower of London, but have somehow slipped into the past itself. The tower's reputation as one of the most haunted places on Earth is not just due to its gruesome history, but also to these strange glitches that seem to occur within its walls. These moments, where the past and present collide, leave a lasting impression on those who are lucky, or perhaps unlucky, enough to experience them. Could it be that the Tower of London, with all its bloodshed and sorrow, is a place where the veil between time and reality is thinner than anywhere else? Is it possible that the restless souls of its past inmates are still trapped within, caught in a loop of time that they cannot escape? These eerie glitches, these sudden disturbances in the fabric of time, serve as a haunting reminder that the tower is not just a monument to history, but a place where history itself refuses to let go. For those who visit, these experiences become a chilling part of the tower's legacy, one that leaves them questioning how much of history is still alive, lingering in the spaces between the walls. And could it be that the Tower of London holds more than just artifacts and royal treasures? Perhaps it holds the very essence of time itself. The disappearing doorways of Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza, the once glorious heart of the Mayan civilization, stands today as a testament to human ingenuity and mystery. Situated in the dense jungles of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, this ancient city, which flourished between the 7th and 10th centuries, was a cultural and religious epicenter, a place of scientific discoveries, breathtaking architecture, and vibrant society. But today, it lies in ruins, its towering pyramid, El Castillo, rising above the jungle canopy as a silent reminder of its grandeur and its mysterious past. For centuries, explorers and archaeologists have tried to unravel the mysteries of Chichen Itza, but there is one phenomenon that continues to baffle even the most seasoned visitors: the strange, inexplicable disappearing doorways. The Grand Pyramid of El Castillo, with its steep steps and intricate carvings, stands at the center of this ancient city, a symbol of both power and knowledge. It's a stunning piece of architecture that once aligned with the sun, showcasing the Mayans' advanced understanding of astronomy. But for those who venture into the ruins of Chichen Itza, there is something far more bizarre happening. Something that not only defies explanation, but challenges our understanding of time itself. On numerous occasions, visitors have reported seeing doorways, arches, and passageways that seem to appear out of nowhere, only to vanish again moments later. These aren't just ordinary architectural features. They are openings that flicker in and out of existence, appearing briefly before disappearing like mirages. One moment, a clear archway will appear, framed by the towering stone walls of the city, and the next, it is gone, as if it was never there to begin with. These strange occurrences tend to happen when visitors are drawn to certain spots around the pyramid, often when the light from the sun shifts just right or when the air feels unnaturally still. Those who have witnessed these fleeting openings often describe them as glitches in reality, where time seems to warp, showing them glimpses of the past or perhaps allowing them to peer into forgotten corners of the ancient city. But these disappearing doorways are not the only anomaly in Chichen Itza. Many who have wandered through the ruins report the unsettling feeling of being watched by something that isn't quite there. Some say they've seen shadows darting across the walls, shadows that don't match their own movements, as if something or someone from another time is silently observing their every step. These shadows don't behave like ordinary reflections. They seem to flicker, moving at odd angles, as though they are trapped in a loop, forever stuck in the past, unable to break free. The shadows seem to appear only when a visitor is near one of these phantom doorways, further adding to the eerie sensation that these glitches are more than just figments of the imagination. They might be windows into another era, showing us moments frozen in time. What makes this phenomenon even more unsettling is the fact that many visitors describe an overwhelming sense of déjà vu when they experience these glitches. Some claim to have stepped through the doorway only to find themselves in a different part of the ruins, as though they had been transported back in time to the height of Chichen Itza's civilization. In these moments, the once crumbling walls appear whole, vibrant, and alive with activity. They describe seeing the Mayan people, dressed in ceremonial attire, performing rituals at the base of the pyramid or walking through these very doorways, their voices and sounds fading into the distance. When they blink, the vision vanishes, leaving them once again standing in the ruins of the present. Could it be that the ancient Mayans, with their deep knowledge of the stars, time, and the cosmos, somehow understood how to manipulate the fabric of time itself? Could these doorways be more than just architectural features, but a manifestation of the Mayans' advanced knowledge, allowing them to open glimpses into different eras or dimensions? Many speculate that the Mayans were aware of time in ways that modern science has yet to comprehend, and these disappearing doorways might be evidence of that lost wisdom. Perhaps the doors are not just physical structures, but metaphysical gateways, an attempt to cross the boundaries of time and space, where the past is not just remembered, but momentarily brought to life again. Some researchers and paranormal investigators have even suggested that these doorways are time glitches, a temporary breach in the flow of history, where the boundaries between eras become blurred. Perhaps the energy from this sacred site, the powerful knowledge and spiritual practices once carried out at Chichen Itza, has created a kind of temporal disturbance, allowing the past to bleed into the present. These anomalies might not be random, but instead could be influenced by certain celestial alignments or environmental factors, like the position of the sun or the rhythms of the earth itself. It's also possible that the architecture of Chichen Itza, with its meticulous design and sacred geometry, was deliberately constructed in such a way that it would harness natural energies or even create an intentional temporal distortion. The Mayans were known for their expertise in astronomy and mathematics, and some believe that the mysterious doorways are an intentional part of the city's design, meant to show the interconnectedness of time, space, and spirituality. As fascinating as these disappearing doorways are, there is still no clear answer as to what exactly is happening in Chichen Itza. Are these strange occurrences just figments of the imagination? Or is there something deeper at play, something that defies the very laws of physics and time? Could it be that Chichen Itza is not just an ancient city, but a place where the boundaries of time are permeable, where glimpses into the past are caught by those lucky enough to witness them? Until more answers emerge, Chichen Itza remains one of the most mysterious and captivating places in the world, a place where history, time, and the unknown intertwine in ways that we are only beginning to understand. For those who visit, it's not just the towering ruins or the incredible architecture that leaves a lasting impression. It's the eerie sensation that the city is not as forgotten as it appears. Time seems to bend and twist around the ruins, and for a brief moment, the past comes alive again, flickering before your eyes, just out of reach. Could these fleeting doorways be offering us more than just a glimpse into history? Perhaps they are a warning, a reminder that time, though seemingly linear, is far more fluid than we've ever understood. The time loop of the Colosseum. The Roman Colosseum, one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, stands proudly in the heart of Rome, a testament to the grandeur of the ancient Roman Empire. With its towering arches and crumbling walls, the Colosseum once hosted some of the most brutal and awe-inspiring spectacles in history: gladiatorial combat, wild animal hunts, and naval battles. For centuries, it served as the epicenter of entertainment, where blood was spilled and legends were born. But beneath its stone font, there is a lingering mystery, a phenomenon that has baffled countless visitors: the sense that time itself is trapped within the Colosseum's ancient walls, folding in on itself and looping back into the past. Today, the Colosseum is a tourist attraction, its glory days of combat long gone. Yet, for some, there is something profoundly unsettling about stepping into the arena where ancient warriors fought for their lives. As visitors walk through the Colosseum's vast chambers, gazing up at the majestic ruins, they often report a strange, disorienting sensation, a feeling that the present is not as solid as it seems, and that the very ground they stand on is connected to something much older, something that refuses to be forgotten. For many who have ventured into the Colosseum's hallowed grounds, moments of déjà vu have occurred, an overwhelming sense that the past is not as far behind as it should be. Some claim that, in certain spots of the arena, the air itself seems to change, thickening with an electric charge, as if something is about to happen. It's in these moments that visitors often hear sounds that don't belong in the modern world: the deafening roar of the crowd, the sound of swords clashing, the echoing shouts of gladiators as they face each other in mortal combat. But when they look around, the scene is eerily empty. The grand arena, once filled with life and blood, is now still, quiet, and abandoned. And yet, the sounds linger for a brief moment, as if they are stuck in time, playing out over and over in an unbreakable loop. Perhaps even more unsettling are the sightings of figures from the past. Those who have spent time in the Colosseum late in the day, when the crowds have thinned and the shadows grow long, have reported seeing the vague outlines of gladiators on the sandy floor of the arena. The figures are not physical beings, but rather ghostly silhouettes, moving in slow, deliberate motions, their faces obscured by the dust of time. These gladiators, some say, seem caught in an endless cycle of combat, frozen in time, locked in a struggle that will never end. Their movements are repetitive, as if they are reliving their final moments in an eternal loop, never able to break free from the past. For those who witness these apparitions, it is as if time itself has bent and trapped these souls within the Colosseum's ancient walls, replaying their final moments in an unyielding cycle. This strange sensation of being transported back in time isn't limited to fleeting glimpses of gladiators. Many visitors describe a sudden shift in their surroundings, an abrupt and overwhelming transition where they feel as if the present day has fallen away, and they are standing in the Colosseum's prime. The ruins seem to vanish, replaced by vibrant colors and bustling crowds. They can hear the clamor of chariots racing across the arena floor, the metallic ring of swords clashing in the heat of battle, the roar of the audience, hungry for more bloodshed. And then, just as quickly, the illusion shatters. The sounds fade, the images disappear, and the visitor is once again standing in the quiet, decaying shell of the Colosseum that exists today. The feeling is disorienting, as if the line between the present and the past is thinner than anyone ever imagined. Some visitors have described these experiences as though they are caught in a time loop themselves, one where the past isn't confined to history books, but instead is playing out once again before their eyes. In these moments, the Colosseum doesn't feel like a ruin, but rather a living, breathing entity, holding on to the violent, vibrant past that once defined it. It's as if the Colosseum is a portal to a forgotten era, and those who walk within its walls are momentarily caught in the repeating patterns of history. But why do these time glitches occur? What causes this cyclical replaying of events, where time appears to fold in on itself, trapping fragments of the past within the present? Could it be that the immense trauma and bloodshed that once took place in the Colosseum have left an imprint on the very fabric of the building itself? The Colosseum was, after all, the scene of countless battles, where life and death were decided in front of roaring crowds. Perhaps these moments of violence and human suffering have created an energetic echo, an imprint that continues to reverberate through time, unable to be erased. Some believe that this imprint is so powerful that it has caused the Colosseum to become a kind of time vortex, where the past constantly rewinds and repeats, forever trapped within the stone walls of the arena. Others propose that the Colosseum's unique architecture, with its precise engineering and intricate design, might play a role in these anomalies. The Romans were experts in architecture and acoustics, and some suggest that the Colosseum's complex structure could, under certain conditions, cause these temporal disturbances. Could the very design of the Colosseum act as a kind of conduit, channeling the energy of the past and allowing it to manifest in strange and inexplicable ways? Despite the many theories, the true cause of these time loops remains unknown. What is clear, however, is that the Colosseum is not just a relic of the past. It is a place where the past and present blur, where the echoes of ancient gladiators and roaring crowds can still be heard, where moments of violence and spectacle are trapped in a perpetual cycle. For those who visit the Colosseum, it's not just a trip through history. It's an experience that makes you question the very nature of time itself, and whether some places, like the Colosseum, hold the power to stretch and twist it beyond our understanding. For some, the time loop of the Colosseum becomes an unforgettable encounter, one that lingers long after they've left the arena. The sense of stepping outside the boundaries of ordinary time, of experiencing moments from the past in vivid detail, is an experience that stays with them, challenging their perceptions of history and reality. The Colosseum may be crumbling, but in these rare, inexplicable moments, it feels as though it is still alive, pulsing with the energy of battles fought long ago, forever replaying in a loop that no one can escape. Perhaps the most profound mystery of all is this: what if, in the Colosseum, time is not just a linear progression, but a cycle, one that will continue to repeat itself long after we are gone? The vanishing village of Oradour-sur-Glane. Oradour-sur-Glane is a name forever etched into the dark chapters of history. A small village in the southwest of France that, in 1944, became the site of one of the most brutal atrocities committed during World War II. On June 10, 1944, during the height of the war, a group of Nazi soldiers descended upon this peaceful rural village, part of a larger campaign of violence against the French resistance. What followed was an act of horror that would leave the village and the world shattered. The villagers, over 600 in total, were rounded up by the soldiers. Men, women, and children were forced into various buildings, some taken to barns and others to the church. In a terrifyingly methodical act of cruelty, the soldiers murdered almost the entire population, setting the buildings ablaze and ensuring that no one would escape. The village was then left in ruins, its structures burned to the ground, with only skeletal remains standing as a chilling testament to the carnage. The personal belongings of the villagers, family heirlooms, letters, and everyday objects were left abandoned, scattered among the remains of what had once been a thriving community. Today, Oradour-sur-Glane remains as it was left after that fateful day, frozen in time. The French government decided not to rebuild it, preserving the village as a memorial to the horrors of war. The remnants of the homes, the church, the cars, and the streets stand as a grim reminder of the lives lost and the atrocities committed. The eerie silence that hangs over the village is broken only by the wind rustling through the trees. But for some visitors, Oradour-sur-Glane is far from silent. It is a place where the past does not just remain frozen, it continues to bleed into the present. There are many accounts from visitors to Oradour-sur-Glane who report strange, unsettling phenomena. One of the most common experiences involves hearing distant sounds that shouldn't be there, sounds that seem to echo from a time long past. People have reported hearing the faint, ghostly echoes of screams, as if the villagers are still calling out in terror, their voices trapped in an endless loop. These sounds seem to come from nowhere, filling the air with a sense of unease. Others have described hearing the footsteps of soldiers marching through the village, the rhythmic sound of boots striking the ground, only to look around and see no one. The steps seem to fade in and out, as if the soldiers' march is replaying itself over and over again, trapped in time. The sounds are not random, but seem to appear in specific patterns. Visitors who have stayed in the village for an extended period have described hearing these echoes at the same time of day, almost as though the events of 1944 are playing out in a continuous loop. This repetitive phenomenon leads some to believe that Oradour sur Glane is more than just a memorial. It may be a place where time itself is broken, unable to escape the weight of the tragedy it witnessed. As if the village, frozen in its state of devastation, is struggling to release its grasp on the past, forever replaying the moment when horror visited its streets. Others have experienced even more intense glitches in time. Some report a sudden shift in atmosphere, a tangible change in the air, as if they are no longer in the present day but have been transported back to 1944. In these moments, visitors describe a feeling of being surrounded by the lost souls of the villagers. The air grows heavy, and the silence becomes suffocating, broken only by the whispers of voices they cannot identify. It's as though the village itself has become a conduit for the past, pulling those who enter it into its tragic history. People have even claimed to see the shadows of figures moving through the streets, barely visible at first, but growing clearer the longer they look. These apparitions are not necessarily figures in the traditional sense. They often appear as fleeting silhouettes, quickly vanishing before they can be fully recognized. But the sense of presence is unmistakable, as if the people of Oradour sur Glane have never truly left, their spirits forever intertwined with the place where they met their end. The church, which stands in its skeletal form, is another area where strange occurrences have been reported. Visitors have claimed to hear the faint sound of bells ringing from the church tower, even though the bells were destroyed in the fire over 70 years ago. Some say they've even felt a cold wind rushing through the church, as if someone or something was still walking among the pews. For others, it's the sensation of being watched. Some have described an overwhelming feeling of sorrow or even dread, as though the spirits of the murdered villagers are still lingering, trapped in their final moments. These eerie occurrences are not limited to the village's structures and streets. Some visitors who have ventured into the surrounding fields and forests have reported feeling as though they are being followed, as if something is lurking just out of sight, watching their every move. Others have said they've been struck by the intense sense of grief and despair that fills the air, a sorrow that is almost tangible, seeping into their very bones. It is as if the very land itself has absorbed the suffering of those who died here, and now it cannot let go. While many believe that the village's haunting is a result of its traumatic past, others speculate that Oradour sur Glane's temporal glitches are something far more mysterious. Some theorize that the energy from the horrific massacre has caused a distortion in time, creating a rip in the fabric of reality itself. The sounds and apparitions may be remnants of the past that, for reasons unknown, continue to replay themselves, unable to be erased by the passage of time. This idea suggests that Oradour sur Glane might be a place where the boundaries between time and space are thinner, where the past is not so easily left behind. For many, the experience of visiting Oradour sur Glane is not just a tour of a historical site, but a powerful emotional encounter with history itself. The village remains a chilling reminder of the horrors of war, but for those who hear the distant cries, see the fleeting shadows, and feel the weight of the past pressing in on them, it is something more, a place where time is fractured, and the echoes of history are forever imprinted on the land. Oradour-sur-Glane stands as a memorial to the lives lost in that horrific massacre, but for some, it feels as though the village has become something more, a place where the past refuses to stay in the past, where the horrors of June 10, 1944, continue to haunt the present. Perhaps the village is not just frozen in time, but trapped in a never-ending loop, forever haunted by the ghosts of its tragic history, desperately trying to break free, but never able to escape the grip of its own sorrow. For those who visit, Oradour-sur-Glane remains a place of both memory and mystery, where time glitches and the past bleeds into the present in ways that defy explanation. The whispers of ancient Egypt. The pyramids of Giza are among the most iconic and enduring symbols of ancient Egypt, standing as monumental testaments to the incredible engineering feats and deep spirituality of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. Built to honor the pharaohs and their gods, these colossal structures have long captured the imagination of people from around the world, who marvel at their sheer size, precision, and mystery. Yet, for all their grandeur and historical significance, the pyramids of Giza are also places of strange and inexplicable occurrences, places where time itself seems to behave differently, and where the past bleeds into the present in ways that can only be described as eerie and unsettling. For centuries, the pyramids have been the subject of countless theories, ranging from ancient alien interventions to mystical forces embedded deep within their stones. But among the most compelling and chilling stories are those told by visitors who claim to have experienced strange sensations and glimpses of another time when they ventured too close to the Great Pyramid, the largest and most famous of the three pyramids at Giza. These visitors often describe hearing faint, almost imperceptible whispers emanating from the stones themselves, soft voices that seem to carry on the wind, rising from the depths of the pyramid's interior. These whispers are not random, but seem to carry a message, a murmur from a time long past, as though the very walls of the pyramid are alive, holding secrets that have remained locked away for millennia. What is most disturbing about these whispers is not their source. It is the fact that they often seem to be directed at the listener. Those who have experienced these phenomena report that the whispers seem to be speaking directly to them, though they can never fully make out the words. They are words from an ancient language, perhaps a language spoken long before the modern world existed, and yet there is a sense of recognition, as if the listener understands more than they should. Some even describe hearing their own name whispered from within the pyramid, or a phrase that seems to transcend time, connecting them to a distant past that they have never personally known. But the whispers are only the beginning of the strange phenomena that visitors to the pyramids of Giza have reported. Many people describe a powerful sensation of being drawn backward in time, pulled away from the present and into a vision of ancient Egypt in its prime. These visions are vivid and surreal, almost dreamlike in their quality, as if the person experiencing them is no longer in the world they know. The sands of the desert, once barren and still, transform before their eyes into a bustling metropolis. The streets filled with merchants, craftsmen, and priests, all moving in rhythm with the daily rituals of a society steeped in mysticism and grandeur. The pyramids, not yet weathered by the centuries, rise majestically against a clear, blue sky, surrounded by the sounds of a vibrant civilization that seems to pulse with life and energy. These dreamlike experiences feel so real that many of those who have had them claim they can still smell the incense and hear the soft murmur of ancient Egyptian prayers in the air. For others, the experience is even more disorienting. They find themselves walking through the chambers of the Great Pyramid, drawn deeper and deeper into the heart of the structure, only to suddenly realize that they cannot find their way back out. Time seems to bend and twist around them, making them feel as though the world outside the pyramid has disappeared entirely. The labyrinthine corridors and darkened chambers seem endless, each turn leading to another mystery, another sense of disorientation. The pyramid itself, with its dark, cool walls and oppressive atmosphere, seems to hold them in a state of suspended time, locked in a moment from long ago, unable to break free. Many who have experienced this sensation report losing track of time entirely. What felt like only a few minutes of exploration inside the pyramid can suddenly turn into hours. And when they finally emerge into the bright Egyptian sunlight, they are left with a sense of confusion and disorientation. The world outside the pyramid seems foreign and distant, as if they've returned from a place that exists outside the realm of normal time. It is as though the pyramid itself has acted as a portal, temporarily severing their connection to the present and pulling them into the past, only to release them once the vision has passed. The most unsettling aspect of these experiences is the sense of timelessness that many describe. There is an overwhelming feeling that the pyramid is holding them in a suspended moment, a place where past and present are blurred. The boundaries of time, in these moments, become fluid, no longer linear, but cyclical. The past seems to bleed into the present, as though the events that occurred inside the pyramid thousands of years ago are still unfolding, eternally replaying their final moments. Some visitors even report seeing figures that look like ancient Egyptians, standing silently in the shadows of the pyramid, watching them as they walk through the chambers. These figures are not solid, physical beings, but rather fleeting shadows or silhouettes, their forms often flickering in and out of sight as though they are caught in an endless loop of time. There are also reports of strange shifts in temperature within the pyramid, especially in the inner chambers. Visitors have described feeling a sudden drop in temperature, an unnatural chill that seems to emanate from the very stones themselves. This coldness often accompanies the feeling of being watched, as though an unseen presence is nearby, lingering just out of sight. The sensation of being pulled backward in time intensifies in these moments, as if the pyramid is not merely a monument to the past, but a vessel that holds the power to transport those within it to another time altogether. What is it about the pyramids of Giza that causes these strange occurrences? Some theorists suggest that the pyramids were designed not just as tombs for the pharaohs, but as powerful structures capable of harnessing cosmic energy. The ancient Egyptians were deeply attuned to the stars and the mysteries of the universe, and many believe that the pyramids were built to align with celestial events in ways that modern science still does not fully understand. Could it be that these pyramids, built with such precision and purpose, have an energy that allows them to access other dimensions of time and space? Are the whispers and time glitches experienced by visitors the result of the pyramid's ancient power, resonating across the centuries? Others suggest that the pyramids might be connected to a form of ancient knowledge or technology that has long since been lost to history. Could the pyramid's interior, with its labyrinthine passages and hidden chambers, hold a secret that was never meant to be uncovered? A secret that, when disturbed, causes time itself to warp and bend, allowing glimpses of the past to bleed into the present. Whatever the cause, the pyramids of Giza remain one of the most mysterious and enigmatic sights in the world. They are not merely ancient monuments to a long-gone civilization, but active, living relics that seem to hold the power to reach across time. For those who are fortunate, or unfortunate, enough to experience these strange occurrences, the pyramids are a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the whispers of the stones, in the dreamlike visions of ancient Egypt, and in the disorienting experiences that seem to defy all understanding. Time, it seems, is not always as solid as we think, and in the shadow of the pyramids of Giza, it is a force that can bend and twist, carrying us back to a time that refuses to be forgotten. The shifting stones of Stonehenge. Stonehenge, the enigmatic stone circle perched on the windswept plains of southern England, has long captured the fascination of historians, archaeologists, and visitors alike. For centuries, this prehistoric monument has stood as a silent witness to the passage of time, its massive stones weathered by millennia of history. Built by ancient peoples whose methods and motives remain shrouded in mystery, Stonehenge continues to puzzle experts and ignite speculation. While most view the stones as a spiritual or astronomical structure, others claim that something far more mysterious lies within them, a glitch in time itself, one that seems to defy logic and the laws of physics. One of the most disconcerting accounts surrounding Stonehenge involves the strange sensation experienced by visitors standing among its ancient stones. For many, the moment they set foot in the stone circle, something changes. Something subtle, yet impossible to ignore. At first, it might seem like nothing more than the usual beauty of the site, the sprawling green fields, the ancient stones towering in their silent majesty against the sky. But then, it happens. The ground beneath their feet begins to feel different. The stones that once seemed so still, so grounded in time and space, suddenly appear to shift, as if they are moving in a way that shouldn't be possible. One moment, the stones stand firm, their ancient faces weathered and worn by centuries of wind and rain. But the next, some visitors claim to see them subtly shift, a slow, imperceptible motion, as if they are swaying gently in a breeze that only they can feel. Some describe the sensation of being caught in a strange current of time, as though the stones are no longer fixed to the earth, but floating, shifting in and out of alignment. This movement isn't dramatic. It's not like the stones are actually toppling or sliding across the ground. Instead, it's an eerie, fluid sensation that seems to stretch and warp the very fabric of time around them. The feeling is both mesmerizing and unsettling, as if the stone circle is not merely an ancient monument, but a living, breathing entity that exists outside the normal flow of reality. For others, the experience goes beyond just the shifting stones. Some visitors describe feeling the landscape itself change before their eyes. The fields around Stonehenge, which normally stretch into the horizon, seem to grow dim or contract, warping as if the entire world is folding in on itself. In some cases, people report feeling as though they are no longer in the present day, but transported to another time. They claim to see Stonehenge not as it is now, weathered and eroded, but as it must have appeared in its prime centuries ago. The stones are pristine, the surrounding landscape unspoiled, and the air is thick with the weight of ancient rituals and ceremonies. It's during these moments that many visitors lose their sense of time altogether. What begins as a normal visit to a historical site quickly turns into something far more disorienting. Some recount standing in the stone circle, looking up at the sky, only to glance down at their watches and find that hours have passed, though it felt like only minutes. Others have reported that their sense of time has become completely skewed. What seemed like a brief moment of contemplation among the stones suddenly stretches on indefinitely, leaving them with a profound sense of confusion and disorientation. The idea of time shifting or bending around the stones of Stonehenge is not new. Over the years, many theorists and researchers have speculated that the monument was built with the intention of connecting the physical world to the spiritual or cosmic realm. Some believe that Stonehenge was used as a tool for tracking celestial events, while others propose that it served as a ritual space designed to channel the energy of the earth, perhaps even bending the laws of time itself. Could it be that the ancient builders of Stonehenge understood something about time that modern science has yet to uncover? Could the monument be a doorway, a key to unlocking time's hidden layers? These glitches in time, as they have come to be called, have led to more questions than answers. Some visitors describe the sensation of stepping through an invisible veil, crossing over from the present moment into the distant past. In these moments, the past is not just a memory. It becomes tangible, alive, and as real as the stones themselves. They report hearing faint whispers in the wind, the distant echoes of ancient voices that seem to rise from the earth itself. There are even tales of people feeling as though they are being drawn into the past, as if the stones are not simply standing still, but are actively pulling them toward a time long gone. The landscape around Stonehenge seems to stretch and blur, distorting the present moment until the visitor feels caught in a cycle, trapped between two worlds, two times, unable to fully comprehend which one they belong to. These time glitches don't always happen in the same way, and the experiences are often fleeting. Visitors who have walked away from the stones often report feeling a deep sense of unease, as if they've witnessed something they weren't supposed to see, or have been privy to a secret that time itself wants to remain hidden. The disorientation that follows these experiences can be overwhelming, as if the very fabric of reality has been altered, even if just for a brief moment. What makes Stonehenge such an enigmatic place is that these occurrences are not limited to just one or two individuals. They are reported by many who visit the site. Though the phenomenon of time glitches has been written off by some as mere imagination or optical illusions, there are too many credible accounts to dismiss it entirely. And while there is no concrete explanation for why these glitches occur, there is a growing belief that Stonehenge may be more than just a set of ancient stones. It may be a conduit for something far more profound. The shifting of the stones, the bending of time, and the sense of crossing between worlds could be a sign that these ancient builders had access to knowledge far beyond their time. For some, Stonehenge has become a place of pilgrimage, not just for its historical and archaeological significance, but for the strange, mystical experiences it offers. The stones are more than just a monument. They are a bridge between the past and the present, a link to something timeless that continues to elude us. Whether these glitches are manifestations of ancient knowledge, temporal distortions, or merely the product of overactive imaginations, they add to the deep mystery that surrounds this extraordinary site. Standing among the stones of Stonehenge, one is left to wonder, is it possible that these ancient structures, built so many centuries ago, hold the key to understanding the very nature of time itself? Could the shifting of the stones be a subtle reminder that time is not as fixed as we think, and that perhaps some places in this world have the power to defy the conventional flow of time? For those who have experienced the strange glitches of Stonehenge, it is a question that lingers long after they leave, one that may never have an answer, but a question that speaks to the timeless power and mystery of this incredible monument. The Phantom of the Alhambra. The Alhambra, a breathtaking palace complex nestled in the hills of Granada, Spain, is one of the most celebrated monuments of Islamic architecture in the world. With its intricate carvings, sprawling gardens, reflective pools, and majestic towers, it stands as a testament to the grandeur and artistic mastery of the Nasrid dynasty. Built in the 13th century, the Alhambra was once a royal palace, a vibrant cultural hub, and a symbol of Islamic power and influence in medieval Spain. Today, it draws millions of visitors from around the globe, eager to admire its beauty and immerse themselves in the rich history it embodies. But there's more to the Alhambra than meets the eye. Beneath the surface of its meticulously designed courtyards and delicate tilework, there seems to be something more elusive, more mysterious, lingering in the shadows. The Alhambra is often described as a place where the past is alive, as though the very walls, fountains, and gardens are somehow infused with the history they have witnessed over the centuries. Some visitors, however, have reported strange occurrences that seem to transcend mere architecture or design, a series of inexplicable moments that suggest the Alhambra may be a place where time itself is not as fixed as it should be. One of the most chilling reports comes from a visitor who was standing alone in one of the Alhambra's serene courtyards, a place where the air is thick with the scent of roses and jasmine, and the sound of water trickling from ornate fountains provides a calming soundtrack to the stillness. As the visitor gazed around, admiring the intricacies of the carved arches and the peaceful atmosphere, something shifted in the air. For a brief moment, the scene before them seemed to blur, as if reality itself had been distorted. When they looked up, they saw it, a royal procession, moving slowly across the plaza. The procession was like something pulled directly from the 14th century, elegantly dressed nobles walking with regal grace, servants trailing behind, and the unmistakable figure of a king or caliph leading the procession. The people moved in perfect synchrony, their movements fluid and graceful, as if they were actors in a scene frozen in time. The visitor was struck dumb with awe, unable to comprehend what they were witnessing. The figures were so vivid, so lifelike, that for a moment, the visitor truly believed they had stepped into a moment from the past, that they were seeing the Alhambra as it once was, alive with the sounds and sights of the royal court. But just as quickly as it had appeared, the procession vanished. The moment the visitor blinked, the plaza returned to its quiet, empty state with no sign of the figures that had just passed by. The visitor, now disoriented and overwhelmed, could still hear the sound of footsteps echoing in their ears long after the event had passed. The distant murmur of voices seemed to hang in the air, lingering like a whisper from a time long gone. For days afterward, the visitor was haunted by the vividness of the experience, the feeling that they had somehow been transported back in time, only to return to the present without understanding how or why. The experience left the visitor with more questions than answers. Could they have imagined the royal procession, their mind simply playing tricks on them? Or could it be that the Alhambra, with its ancient walls and centuries of history, is a place where the past occasionally bleeds into the present? Some believe that the Alhambra, with its intricate Islamic architecture, holds a unique connection to the past, a connection that allows moments from history to occasionally slip through the cracks of time, revealing themselves to those who are perceptive enough to notice. This isn't an isolated incident. Other visitors to the Alhambra have reported similar experiences, moments where the boundaries of time seem to blur. Some have described walking through the palace's grand halls, only to feel as though the air around them has shifted, growing heavy with the weight of history. In these moments, visitors have claimed to see fleeting glimpses of figures from the past, court officials walking down the corridors, servants going about their duties, and even glimpses of the royal family themselves, their faces obscured by time but their presence unmistakable. These figures are not static. They seem to be caught in motion, performing daily tasks as if the visitor is witnessing a moment from the past playing out in real time. Others have described feeling a profound sense of connection to the place, as if the very stones of the Alhambra are alive, pulsating with the energy of the past. The sensation is so vivid that some visitors claim to feel as though they are not just walking through the halls of the palace, but actually stepping into the shoes of someone from the past. They have described moments where they felt like they were caught in a time loop, unable to escape the weight of history pressing down on them, as if the very walls of the Alhambra were holding them in a moment from centuries ago. So, what could explain these strange experiences? Some believe that the Alhambra, with its rich history and unique design, may hold an energy that is capable of bending the flow of time itself. The palace was built as a symbol of power and spirituality, designed with intricate geometric patterns that some believe are more than just decorative. Could these patterns have been designed to align with cosmic forces, creating an environment where the fabric of time is more malleable? Could the architecture of the Alhambra serve as a kind of conduit, allowing moments from the past to occasionally slip through the cracks and manifest in the present? Another theory suggests that the Alhambra's role as a place of spiritual significance could be contributing to these time glitches. Throughout history, the palace has been a site of pilgrimage and reflection, with many seeking spiritual enlightenment within its walls. Could the very act of reflection, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply contemplation, trigger these glimpses of the past? Is it possible that the Alhambra is more than just a historical monument, but a place where the soul can transcend time, momentarily connecting with the spirits of those who once lived within its walls? The idea that time itself can be bent or warped is not new, and many cultures throughout history have speculated about the possibility of time travel or the existence of alternate realities. The Alhambra, with its rich history and spiritual significance, may be a place where these theories are realized, where the past is never truly gone but continues to live on in the air, in the walls, and in the very stones of the palace. For those who experience these glitches, the Alhambra is not just a place to visit. It is a portal to another time, a place where the boundaries between past and present are fluid, and where the echoes of history continue to resonate in ways we are only beginning to understand. The Phantom of the Alhambra, in all its mystery, serves as a reminder that the past is never as distant as we think. It lingers in the walls of ancient buildings, in the air we breathe, and in the very stones that have witnessed centuries of human history. Whether the experiences of those who have encountered these time glitches are real or imagined, the Alhambra remains a place where the past refuses to stay buried, slipping through time and revealing itself to those who are open to seeing it. In this magical, timeless place, the past is always alive, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to explore its hidden corners.